Check it out. Again, we're live on YouTube. Ladies and gentlemen, it's the Jonny Simpson Show. But what is there? Here we go.
Fantastic.
Now you can share during the video now. Oh, yeah. Can you hook up the task? The batteries are in it.
Hi YouTube, how's it going? This is the Jonny Simpson Show, and you're not hearing the audio correctly.
Check it. See, like I literally, anyone who's watching on YouTube right now is like, hey, can you do a sound check for me real quick?
Check.
You need to come up a little bit. I turned your mic down a little bit because I was picking up on two mics before when I was doing my sound check. So I turned down yours a little bit, but there's no need to use a multi-output device or an aggregate when we just run it through the codec, you know what I mean? So that's simple. But here's the thing. I'm not seeing the snowball in here. Your light's on, right? Yeah. Keep unplugging and plugging it back in real quick. Okay.
Check.
That's better.
That's good.
Yeah.
It can come down a little bit too.
Yeah. We don't need Tyler booming over Johnny. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously. YouTube. I don't even have Logic open. Ty, literally, what time do you have to leave? 6:40?
Yeah, just about 6:45.
My soundboards just went out. What the fuck? Maybe my sound because I turned on Logic.
Unplug the soundboard circuit. They're still out?
I think they'll come back in. This is the Jonny Simpson Show, pre-show. We're streaming on...
It's back on now.
Yeah. But the soundboards... they'll come back on when Logic finishes loading. Tyler, crazy shit going on in the news. Did you see any of the stuff that the cops are up to?
Which cops in particular?
There's cops in Utah, and there's cops in Georgia.
I think I saw the Utah cops.
That was the worst one.
Yeah, that was really
The Georgia one is bad, too. Seriously, though. This is not cool. There we go. Everything's good.
Check. Yep.
Everything would be good if it was perfect. Nobody's watching us on YouTube, Tyler. Fools. What fools? I forgot that I did a hard reset of the computer right before the show and I didn't get it back going. You know, technically, if I put up the Chromebook video, I'm not doing this today, but I could put up the Chromebook video, the audio live, those would be separate streams, and then I could do a YouTube too. Isn't that something? The Jonny Simpson Show.
feel like it is going in and out. Do you like how I canceled the show a week ago? And now here we are.
Yeah. I mean, I figured that was gonna happen.
Really?
Yeah.
You're like, there's no way he's just gonna stop doing it?
Yeah, I'm in.
Bro, some stuff happened with my project that I'm working on with the United States Institute of Peace, and I thought I got 86th. But then it turns out I'm just still Mahoney, so I don't need to worry about it. So we're going to incorporate one of the lesser systems. Still Mahoney. So that sounds good. All right. That was the audio feed?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then I guess we can officially get going. Oh, great. The sounders aren't firing. They were a second ago. Tyler, what's up?
What's good, man?
It's the 1st of September. 3 weeks to the day until Trunks' first birthday. Can you believe it? My nephew takes karate classes, and I was trying to tell him that it's like not really something to be like, you know, it's not real fighting. And he got really confused and was like, but, huh? And I was like, look, man, if someone punches you in the face, what are you going to do? He's like, but we don't punch in karate. And I was like, that's not what happens in real life.
That's true.
And I'm like, little kids, they don't think these things through. And I think he looks up to his karate teacher. Are you out?
I think so.
How are you out? Still nothing.
Check.
You're
Yeah,
back.
we're back. Alright, cool.
Dude, is our whole system breaking down?
I don't know. I think it's that USB hub. Might need to get 86 to replace.
You think so?
Yeah, it's a little spacey.
You said it was spacey?
Yeah. And I'm out, and I'm in again. And I'm out, I'm in again.
That's what I'm saying. It's probably the USB hub. I'll get a new one tonight after the show when I have to go replace my Beat X's. As I was telling Tyler before the show, I lost my Beats, or I broke one of my ears on my Beats X's, which are the best Bluetooth headphones you can get for traveling and for like daily usage. Otherwise, you got the big ones like the ones I'm wearing over my ears now. I don't like taking these out in public. Not because they're $500 headphones, but just because they're too big.
Yeah.
Like you wear earbuds in the studio because you don't like the cans over your head. Tyler, when he goes into the recording booth to record music that he's never shown me that he claims he records, he wears earbuds. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I don't. I wear over the ears in the studio.
You just went out again.
Check.
You know,
Just
when the light comes on.
It's just like bouncing in and out, but it's alright.
Let's see if that makes it any better.
What was that? Something unnecessary?
It was a power cord
Okay.
that was connected to the... Alright, this has been the shittiest start to a show ever, and I blame it completely on Tyler Murray. Tyler
What's good?
is what's good. I gotta play a spot here at the beginning of the show. I hate playing spots at the beginning of the show, but we gotta get the sponsors out there. Dos Males, one of our longest sponsors. Tyler,
It's good.
are you glad to be off of work, or are you already dreading Monday?
I always dread Monday.
Thursday's your favorite day of the week.
But isn't it it's Labor Day weekend, so we don't have to work Monday.
Oh shit, you don't have to work Monday.
I don't.
Tyler,
It's good.
guess what's tomorrow?
What's that?
Dragon Ball Super 106.
Only you and this guy who makes these ridiculous videos care.
You mean me and Daquan Wilshire?
Okay, every black person's name is not Daquan, so I'm sure his name is. We'll just refer to him as Mr. Wilshire.
His name's Daquan Wilshire.
I think you made that up.
He's the only black hobbit in history. I miss that by myself. Master Roshi is for the last 30 years in the series, he like looks at porn magazines the whole time.
Excuse me?
Yeah, that's the difference between Dragon Ball Z and Pikachu. They curse, they have adult themes, okay?
And that's a kid's show?
No, the audience grew into, they didn't have it at the beginning,
Right, okay.
cussing and everything like, Tyler, get your head out of the gutter. Strategist is not a word.
Strategic is what
Yeah.
he's trying to say.
Yeah. But I think he knows that.
A strategist.
Master Roshi had to suppress his lust in order for the tournament. And he successfully overcame his lust. And one of the Universe 2 fighters took some clothes off and tried to bait him that way.
That's really what happened?
Yeah, and then he got like all fire, like fire came up behind him and he got all like, because he's this old man, but he can flex out sometimes.
Right.
And he's like, you dare to use seduction on me when I've pent up all of this into my spirit?
That really happened?
And he's like, I can't help what comes, and he runs at her with both hands. And she says, I don't want to be undesirable as a wife. And she
She
jumps
ran away.
off the fighting stage.
Wow.
If you're not familiar with the Tournament of Power yet, it's a battle royale, Tyler. And the only way to, you can't kill your opponents. You have to knock them off the fighting stage.
So they can just keep fighting forever?
Well, there's a time limit.
Okay.
So no.
So who decides?
But the time limit, literally, okay, so last week's episode, at the end of it, they were like, there are 34 minutes left in the Tournament of Power. Do you know what it said the week before?
No.
There are 35 minutes left in the Tournament of Power.
Oh, that's funny.
The Mafuga is the evil containment wave, Tyler. It's only to be used against very strong opponents. You seal them away.
And what?
Well, normally like a jar, and then you put a talisman on the top of it.
And then they ever get out?
Unless the seal is broken.
Has that ever happened?
Yeah. I don't want to go deep.
Okay.
Because this is a long video. Hit is the latest black Dragon Ball Z character.
I thought it was a bird.
No, Hit is this purple dude.
Oh, okay.
Okay, but he's totally a black dude. Like the Namekians, Piccolo.
Okay.
You're familiar?
Yeah, I'm familiar.
Yeah. Ty, I want to go back and do another night of stand-up just so I can be like, any Dragon Ball Z fans in the room?
Everyone's gonna say.
And someone's going to be like, woo! And I'm going to be like, my hammock! You all can't say that. You all can't say that.
Man, I was so not here.
I came up with like the longest bit in my head the other day that was just for the stage. And it was about how...
For jokes?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was a bit about how everybody on the West Coast was psyched to get the solar eclipse first because they never get anything first time-wise.
Okay.
And then it devolved into like, so I got this piece of pussy out on the West Coast, and we got it in, and I got mine in. She got pissed because she didn't get hers. And I was like, look, you don't understand. We're on different schedules. So she was pissed. She was just looking at her phone in the bed or whatever. I went out, turned on the Lord of the Rings movie, the last one, because it's 3 hours long. And right as they're throwing the ring into the pit of fire or whatever, you just hear this from the bedroom. Ah, ah, ah! And I was like, that's right, bitch! You came on Eastern Standard Time. But it obviously needed worked out a lot more than that, Tyler.
Yeah, that's a little rough.
Tyler, you're very normally supportive of my stand-up.
I'm still supportive.
Tyler, I'm not going to do it ever again.
Well, I mean, that's on you.
I might do it again. I literally watched an episode of Dragon Ball Super with my bud dealer the other day. I think his reviews are actually getting longer. Daquan Wiltshire, ladies and gentlemen. We got to get him on the show, but he does a little bit of production in those things, you know? Yeah. And I don't know if we could bring that to the show. He says things like, what were the words he was using in the other one that were very vernacular-centric for DC? I can't remember.
I can't remember either, but I remember they were there.
I know that he has a lot of views on those videos, so he probably gives no fucks about getting played on Facebook Live's first talk show in history. But, Daquan Wiltshire, I gotta get in contact with you and tell you that I steal your material for my show. Which is basically all radio is, Tyler. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, basically you just comment and steal pop culture and then reappropriate it. Not the way that you're used to with your Converses and your khaki shorts. Tyler literally has to go feed some cats in a little while. And the feeding for the cats is on an alarm. And there's a camera on it. So, Tyler, are you getting paid to do this? Or is this just out of the goodness of your heart?
I was asked to do this for my sister because my sister has something to do, so...
And so, you're going into random white people, I can only assume's house. An alarm goes off. A camera turns on.
No, I think the cameras are always on, but the timer just goes
So are they waiting, watching, being like, is he running on Obama time?
Probably, or they just go...
If I had my sound banks organized, I'd hit the jokes that white people shouldn't make.
It's like...
Yeah, jokes that white people shouldn't make. Anyways. We're running out of time with Tyler Murray. Tyler, I thought you didn't want Malcolm J. Little back on the show. after the last
I
time.
thought for just 1 second I would give his.
He's scheduled to be here.
One more chance.
He's scheduled to be here after a quick phoner from Alex Jones from Infowars.com. Alex, I think we got him on the line. Let me see if I can pot him up real quick. Dun, 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 dun. Here we go. Alex, you're on the show.
Well, thanks, man.
The anti-Semitism, why now?
Yeah, get him out of here.
All right,
No, don't ever call me. Don't ever call me.
out. Alex Jones out, just like that. Wow.
Did he call me a Mormon?
He said that he said it was mighty white of you to book him on the show, which is something that white people used to say to each other down south.
Okay.
Have you ever heard of this? No, literally, like say one white man was in his pickup truck and he had a flat tire, and then another white man drove by and fixed his flat tire. They would shake hands and be like, "That was mighty white of you, sir." Literally, it used to just be like, "Hey, mighty white of you."
Interesting.
Yeah, you educated me on a term earlier yesterday. It might come up later.
It probably will.
Yeah, but I'm trying to tell you now about the embedded level of racism in American culture. I can't believe you didn't hear in Oklahoma.
I mean, people don't walk around saying that anymore.
Why have you? Why have you? I'm just gonna start saying it.
That's funny. I've been screaming blood and soil for some reason. I think. It's
Have you
funny.
really?
Yeah, I think it's funny.
Have you been saying Jew can't replace us?
No, I'm not.
Because I work with some Semites, and if you're going down that road, I don't know if we can continue to do a show.
I've stolen blood and soil for my own. It just sounds so ridiculous that grown men would be screaming that in the street.
Blood and soil. Like their blood and their soil?
I don't even know. I don't get it. I'm
what?
just like, alright, whatever, dude.
And shouldn't that soil have gone 40 acres?
Oh,
They shouldn't even have the soil. They're not doing anything with the soil.
I just don't even understand what it's all about. I'm like, why was this a serious chant? And why are people taking this so seriously? I'm sure,
Tyler, I saw a pickup truck with a mounted American flag this morning, and I had this thought. Post 9/11, Patriot. 2017, very possibly a white supremacist. Yes? No? Is that just a little...
I don't know. You expect to see the flag nowadays followed by a Trump sticker or something else.
Well, the back tailgate was off the truck, so you know that they were always, just loading stuff up, or just really wanted to. The flag was mounted and like higher than the view. It was a whole thing.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah. I think that's like the big Trump banner now, and I don't want to say that because it's the American flag, but I don't know. The deconfederizing of America is continuing, which is at least one good thing. Brittany educated me to the fact that one out of every 12 Confederate monument is in a Union state.
1 out of 12 Confederate monuments is in a Union state.
Yeah, isn't that absurd?
I think so.
Yeah. I had a show prepared for last week when crazy shit white people did in Florida, which is coming up in a couple minutes. I'm going to keep going after Tyler has to leave probably because I got a lot of stuff to play here. We're going to get in. We got Malcolm coming on at 6:30. So that should be fiery. But I didn't know what to think about that pickup truck today I saw.
You were about to say Pikachu.
No, I didn't. I would never subconsciously Freudianly slip.
I think you did.
Why does Freud get credit for when someone makes a mess up in their head? All the guy did was do a lot of cocaine. Tyler, the president of Kenya, was removed from office.
For what?
Corruption charges.
Shocker.
But, did you know this? The first time in the history of the African continent that a democracy removed a head of government without the intervention of an international community. The ruling body took care of it. I don't have the specifics because I was just listening to it in the middle of the night on the BBC World Service, in between some casual racism regarding soccer. Literally, they were talking about like World Cup qualifying, and then they covered some African competitions, and they were like, and of course Uganda lost in their qualifier to Senegal. I can't remember the last time Uganda was in the World Cup. Wait, they've never been in one. Moving on. Like really, they get it in really quickly. Those post-Brexit, casual racist British. So I've decided to accept government money to get another degree, Tyler. I start on 9/11, 2017. 16 years to the day that the Saudis took a sideswipe at us.
Sounds like a good plan.
I feel bad labeling all the Saudis, but at the same time, they're allowed to, 9/11 victims' families are allowed to sue Saudi Arabia now for financial compensation. So that's pretty much just like hey, Saudi Arabia is responsible for that one, right? Yeah. And now they're like our key. How are we key partners strategically and in terms of international relations with both Saudi Arabia and Israel?
Because Qatar,
there are no Israelites in Saudi Arabia.
It's because Qatar is so bad. They're the worst thing on the planet.
Well, we're going to get some LNG out of Qatar. Literally. Qatar is cut off. The only way they're getting food is from Iran and Turkey. Iran and Turkey are in the Russian confidence circle. Turkey is a NATO member. It's a clusterfuck, Tyler.
I agree.
The United States is intelligence sharing with Iran via Russia. I don't know if people are aware of that. The next thing I have on one of my cards, Tyler, you ever know when they try to mash up food into like, hey, we've got this and we've got that, let's put them together.
Right.
Like KFC when they did the chicken breast sandwich bun.
Right.
Do you remember that?
Right. Okay.
Did you enjoy it?
I don't think I ever ate it.
Me neither. But I think you're lying.
I never ate it. I usually don't eat.
I ate it a lot. I ate KFC quite a bit.
I've had Twisters. The Twisters were straight. Those were my favorites.
What's Twisters?
It was like the same thing. Like they started doing wraps with like the chicken.
So you didn't go to KFC until they got wraps?
I mean.
Okay. That's all.
That's a Twister, bro.
No, I never heard of it. Tyler, the last thing on my quick cue cards here. Do you think that true love only comes around once in your life, or is it possible to be in love truly more than once?
I think that you can definitely fall in love more than once in your
Say
life.
you get married, you have a great marriage. She dies in a car accident.
Right.
And you meet someone new sometime later, not talking about you in particular, just someone.
Right.
Was it that that person was the love of your life during that time? Or is it that, what if that new relationship I'm saying surpassed the old relationship? Isn't that kind of shitty?
I mean, I guess at that point, depending
Like,
on
5
how
years
old you
after
are.
your wife has died and you're with this new younger chick and you're like, damn, I'm just so much happier.
I mean, I'm
This
sure
went
that's
down a dark road.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it's happened before. I definitely think it's happened before. Definitely, there are people out there who've had that experience on both sides of it.
Tyler, there's a lady coming into town who I had a previous relationship with, and she wanted to see me, and I had to shut it down.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, go on.
Well, Tyler, she was 29 when we dated. I was 21. So now I'm 29,
Right.
and she's 37. And you know when chicks are 37, they're probably looking to get married. And when you fall in love with Jonny Simpson, it doesn't just dissipate, okay? It doesn't just, This girl literally had to date another chick after our relationship to get over me,
Interesting.
which I was very proud of when I found out. She needed a reset, almost like Aphrodite returning to the sea to re-cleanse her virginity. Tyler, you're familiar with Greek mythology?
I'm not.
Apollo and Artemis, twins or lovers? Your thoughts?
Probably both.
Twins. No. Artemis was a virgin goddess, okay? One of three. She didn't have sex. Get your mind out of the Greek mythology gutter. Tyler, the difference between Mars and Ares in Roman and Greek mythology. Thoughts? Dropping truth bombs right now. Ares was hated and thought of as a detestable warmonger. Ares, whereas Mars in Rome was looked on, because Rome had a much more successful military, as the patron saint of the legionnaires. But Julius Caesar himself, an atheist, to our best knowledge. You ever spent any time reading Julius Caesar's diaries, Tyler?
None. None.
I like to spend time in the minds of geniuses.
I,
He doesn't write about himself. He writes about his conquests of Gaul. It's all very fascinating stuff. Let's see. All right before Malcolm J. Little comes in, I wanted to do a quick, this is just a quick, no transitions, no, never mind. You get what I'm saying. This white man is about 80 years old. He's 5'6.5". He's wearing a short sleeve, non-Hawaiian, Floridian themed Hawaiian shirt. They're in a cul-de-sac with a pond, which in Florida, has gators. But, shocker, this old white guy, do you know who he's yelling at?
who's he yelling at? Sorry. You're funny, bro. Oh. Nice.
So this white guy is getting mad. He just said, "We'll see if you walk your dog any more time."
Did he drop the N-bomb?
He said he was a typical ignorant black. First of all, this kid's light-skinned. So how could he be a typical black?
So what is it? Are they fishing?
It's a visual bit, but it's on World Star. Stupid old white man.
Yeah.
She's on the racist side. They're just fucking with him. Look at the other guy fishing. Alright, I want to just fast forward to the good part.
Oh, gee, that must have escalated real quick. Hey.
Look how far it falls. Let this be a message to all the in the closet homosexual black guys on the down low out there. When you say something, you probably back it up. I just think he sounded kind of... That was the longer version of the video. Okay, we got Malcolm calling in right now. And by calling in, I mean it looks like he's walking into the studio. Malcolm, welcome to the show. Next up on the show, we are joined by a man we never thought we would hear from again. Malcolm J. Little of the mighty 2% Party. Malcolm, there was tension between you and Tyler on your last appearance. Fellas, can we put this to bed and discuss the issues like gentlemen? Malcolm?
Super petty.
Yeah, that was a little petty. Malcolm, Malcolm has informed me that he will be directing all of his answers to me out of lingering tension between the two parties, I can only assume.
Johnny, please tell Uncle Malcolm over here that I refuse to accept his legitimacy as a representative of the black population.
Malcolm, Ty has officially pulled your card, and that's coming from a guy who followed Limp Bizkit around the Dust Belt as a roadie in 2004. He wants me to tell you that he doesn't consider you legitimate as a representative of your shared community. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Fuck.
Wow, the sneaky type. Malcolm, I'm going to have to give you one of these. The tension continues to mount between Tyler Murray and Malcolm J. Little. Tyler, you look like you had something you wanted to say.
Yeah, would you please inform Talcum Little over here that the only thing sneaking around in this discussion
I thought it was Malcolm.
it's talcum.
Talcum?
He knows what I'm talking about. Talcum, like the powder. Talcum Little.
Is that like Mighty White of you, but in its own way?
It's talcum.
Okay.
All right, talcum. All right. You know, his abhorrent support for a president who will not outright denounce racial-based hatred to the point where mainstream America is left to pick up the pieces.
Malcolm, Ty is a veteran. Please show him some respect.
Johnny, would you please inform Mr. Little that his vapid opportunist, that he's a vapid opportunist and a race traitor and a self-hating black man all at the same time?
Malcolm, Tyler wants me to tell you that you're anti-black who only sticks to a script he was provided.
Johnny, please tell Talcum that he is the pariah and a shame to his people.
Malcolm, Tyler would like me to tell you that you've had a more damaging effect on race relations than Rachel Dolezal. Back to Florida.
I bet you wouldn't, hoe ass nigga.
You're just repeating yourself.
Yeah, that's what he always does. He talks in circles. Get this guy the fuck out of here.
We got to get him out of the studio?
I mean, I think he's causing too much.
Malcolm, sit down. Malcolm J. Little has stood up. Tyler Murray has
down.
stood up. This is, I'm in the middle of something confusing because I know more about Tupac than both of them.
Well,
But
whatever.
security is coming.
I don't need your two-pack, John.
You know that Google Voice says, sure, listen to this Pac station on YouTube. Hey Google, play unreleased Tupac.
Why don't you tell Google to play the walkout theme so this guy can get the fuck out of here?
Something went wrong. Try again in a few seconds.
That was security telling us that they couldn't get Malcolm J. Little out of the production booth. He's been removed from the studio. Tyler, was that the last time we're going to have Malcolm?
That's it.
That's done officially?
That's it. We might have him as a caller.
A caller?
Yeah.
I don't think we can have him live in studio again.
Well, maybe we'll have to find another black representative from his delegation.
I don't know if there is another member of the mighty 2% party. And I really think he's exaggerating that number.
They can't be trusted.
Did you know that more white men voted for Donald Trump than Mitt Romney?
Well, I mean, the Mormon thing is kind of a big deal.
And white women.
Yeah. I still think the Mormon thing was a huge deal.
Really?
I think so.
But Alex Jones said that he would get you into heaven.
Alex Jones doesn't speak for me or doesn't speak for my faith.
But the Mormons, before 1970, you had to have a white man vouch for you to get into heaven if you were black. And can you imagine how shitty that would be if the white guy who was going to vouch for you died like 30 years after you did, and you're just standing outside the gate. St. Peter's like, fuck out of here, you don't got nobody. And he's just like trying to bum cigarettes off people getting into heaven. Tyler's laughing silently.
That's so
Normally I tell people not to step on the laugh, but
oh man,
he's just like, man, I'm waiting for Alex Jones to get here.
My man's to get here, bro. Come on, dog.
Seriously, get somebody to tell me what's really going on with the Mormons, because their holy land is Pennsylvania, they all live in Utah, their temple is in Maryland, and Romney has cousins in Mexico. Did you know that?
I did not.
You didn't know about the Romney complex in Mexico?
I had no idea.
There's Mexican Romneys. They look just like him except with a Spanish accent. They have multiple wives.
That's frightening.
Yeah, it wasn't really brought up that much in the campaign that he has polygamous cousins in Mexico. That was crazy shit white people did in Florida. I had another one, and Malcolm J. Little broke in the middle of that. Tyler, there is something, though. The other thing I had for crazy shit white people did in Florida is 4 to 5 white teenagers videotaped, laughed, and joked while a black man drowned.
I saw that.
Did you see that?
I did.
Did you see that they couldn't actually be charged with any crime?
I did not see that, but I think. Yeah, I mean,
Literally, they
tough
couldn't
because
be.
Really
Well, have you seen the?
They could have called somebody.
Are you familiar with Seinfeld?
I am.
The Good Samaritan rule.
Yeah.
They get brought up on charges. This is basically the Good Samaritan rule from
Right.
Seinfeld, except much worse conditions.
Absolutely.
So this is 4 to 5 fuckboys from Florida, which I think even if you're a grown man from Florida, chances are you're a fuckboy. And if you're not from Florida, then chances are you're running away from like a drug debt or a gambling issue. I don't know. All the people I know who went to Florida that weren't from Florida went down there because like they got shot in the face here for fixing a poker game, or they tried to screw over some bud dealers from Southeast, or they were strippers and they just thought it'd be easier to make money in Florida. But who's to say?
Speaking of scams, have you heard about Mr.
Tyler coming up with the topic.
Billy, Mr. William?
William Angola?
Have you heard about his rap sheet from the early 90s?
Well, he stole people's identities? Yeah! Cannabis Co-op Club. Last time I saw that Bama, I took an eighth off of him.
Oh,
and told him I was
God.
good. And I tagged his DC Canna Comics thing in one post, and I later deleted it. And I was going to tell him, listen, you carny old fuck, if you want your Canna Comics thing to be successful, who makes a comic book about an old ass man who doesn't even, it's not even like, Clint Eastwood or someone who's like, could be dignified. He's just like an Ocean City carny fuck. Really, if DC Canna Comics was ever going to take off, they needed to make me the star.
Yeah,
I'm just kidding. Nobody knows what DC Canna Comics is because it's one of 15 pages the dude started.
this dude is, for the club is asking for social security numbers, and people are like, why? And everyone was like, don't do it. And then they posted
Dude,
articles.
that's what, when he
started fed time for
when he told that in the interview I had, that's when I knew it was done.
Can't believe it. I mean,
Yeah.
I can't believe it, but jeez.
Yeah, plus he is a cuckold. That always freaks me out. I don't like that. I can't really have a real conversation with the man knowing that that's what they're into.
Right.
Especially when they're so open about it. It makes me uncomfortable. Also, from what I hear, William's a bit of a racist. I know on Earth Day, I was participating in a community beautification project, and he wasn't there, but he did provide the moon bounce, the cotton candy, and the popcorn maker.
Okay.
Because he had to make good with the community.
And they locked his ass up at 420.
Yeah, but he did that as a stunt on purpose.
Okay.
He did that to get attention to himself. He works with Elizabeth, the lady who I did the red carpet thing with.
Right.
Yeah, I don't want that footage on a documentary. I'm not proud of that footage.
Unbelievable.
These things happen, Ty.
I agree.
Have I turned down more opportunities than I've seized on this year?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah,
Or
they were
not
bullshit
outright turn
opportunities.
them down. At least you wouldn't kind of try them out.
I tried them out.
Give it the good old college try, the chance.
Going back to college because they're giving me money. Tyler, I'm bringing in 90 credits, and I only have to take 30 more credits to get another bachelor's degree.
Nice.
Yeah, and they're going to pay me while I do it. Tyler's got to get out of here in 4 minutes, which means I have time to play this. So you heard about the Utah cop, but did you hear? That was a Georgia police officer. Did you hear the sarcastic? And I read online that people were like, he was just being sarcastic. How the fuck are you just being sarcastic about that? That's like back to the mighty white of you thing.
Yeah, I agree. It's stupid.
That's like inside white racism. Hey, don't you know we only shoot black people? There's none of them around. Yeah, we don't have to think correctly when they're not in our presence. You know, there's people who like maintain outer facades of not being racist.
Yeah, like that.
Like, no, that guy, he had to retire.
They forced him to retire.
Yeah.
Damn.
First they put him on administrative leave, and he ended up retiring.
Just can't say that.
No, you can't. And I know you got to go. I'm going to go out. I'm going to play this video. Another police officer, this time in Utah. This police officer, I'll let you play. I'll let you hear it. So here's the head nurse of Utah University's burn center. She's the head nurse on the ward at the University of Utah Hospital. And there's a police officer who's trying to draw blood from an unconscious patient, and she'll go over why that's not acceptable.
Yeah, I don't understand how they let him get away with that.
Have you seen the whole video?
Yeah, I've seen multiple angles of it, yeah.
Yeah. So in a second, he grabs the shit out of her and like forces her up against the wall to the point where the other cop there puts his hand on his shoulder, a junior cop, because this guy's in plain clothes and he's driving it unmarked. Watch though, Ty, I want you to see the fat security guard from the hospital.
I saw him just standing there.
No, he doesn't just stand there. The fat security guard from the hospital, he hits the handicap button. When do police officers go around getting blood?
They don't.
They don't. Back to fucking Utah. Who fucks with doctors? See? He hit the thing. And then he's walking out on his cell phone. This is really like fucking hard to watch. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to leave you with that. Ty's got to go, and I didn't have an organized show. I just had a lot of material produced. You can find this video, Utah nurse cop. That's all you have to put into Google. There's multiple angles. Basically, this cop arrests this lady violently because of the fact that she will not break protocol, Tyler, which I got to say,
That's her right.
mighty white of her.
My God.
I'm just kidding.
All right, dude.
All right. Well, all right, dude. The outro music's on.
Oh, sorry. All right.